touchlines. Today we are doing the FPL pod, where we have a discussion on FPL, what is happening, what you need to know, and also which players you need to add to your team. We'll crown it up by giving you the players you need to select for this week so that you get a chance to win the Tactics and Touchlines weekly FPL award. That is 100 Ghana cedis being given to you at the end of every week if you are to top the group. And also ultimately my bet's monthly manager of the month, where you get 500 Ghana cedis at the end of every month. So these are two competitions you need to be part. But if you are to be part, at the end of the show, I'll give you the code to join these two leagues so that you get a chance to win either the 100 Ghana cedis being provided by the Tactics and Touchline podcast or my bet 500 Ghana cedis at the end of the month. So let's go into the week. The transfer season just ended. Let's look at some of the deadline day signings, their best ever FPL seasons. We'll look at Alexander Isak with 211 points. He did that in 2024-2025 season. Johan Wissam also did 185 points in 2024-2025 season. We have Bertrand Traore did 135 points in the 2020-2021 season. And we had Victor Lindelof, Man United player, moving to Aston Villa, also did 116 points in the 2019-2020 season. Jadon Sancho did 105 for 2022-2023 season for Man United, and also Zinchenko for Manchester City at that time did 104 for 2023-2024 season. Coming down, we are looking at players moving to Chelsea. That is, Bonanote did 75 in 2024-2025 season. Then we ended up with Nelson, who also did 42 with 23 and 2022 season. Let's look at this week. There are some fixtures coming up, and if you want to select your team for the FPL, you need to look at some of the fixtures. With FPL, I always tell you that the ones with a green shows easier games for some clubs. The ones with a red or deeper brown show some of the difficult games for some of the clubs. So let's look at the fixtures. We'll mention one or two teams, then you know which fixtures are difficult. So when selecting your players, you need to know some of the players you need to pick. So with the fixtures coming up, Arsenal will play Nottingham Forest at home. And it will be the first game for, that is, Angie coming into Emirates to also perform so well for us, for Nottingham Forest. So this is a game you could see, it shows just an ash, meaning it's a less difficult game for Arsenal, but it can also be very tricky. Everton against Aston Villa, on the other hand, something similar. You see, that is Bournemouth against Brighton, also with the ash showing is a tricky game. Chelsea against Brentford, it's also a very tricky game there for a team like Chelsea or Brentford. Bournemouth against, that is, Brighton, as I mentioned, it's also a tricky game. Liverpool against Burnley, you could see with Burnley it shows a red against Liverpool, showing it's a very difficult game for Burnley going against Liverpool. On the other hand, Nottingham Forest would also have a difficult game against Arsenal. Let's look at some of the easiest game coming up this week. Liverpool against Burnley. For Liverpool, if you have a Liverpool player, you can also go in and captain them or bring in some of the Liverpool players you think can help you this week. Tottenham against West Ham. With the form West Ham is showing, you can go in for any Tottenham Hotspur's player. That would also help you. Newcastle against Wolves. We know they've done one or two additions with Johan Wissam and some of the players. So these are some of the teams that are having easier games you can go out for. Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Tottenham, Newcastle, and also Fulham. And the difficult games this week are Burnley against Liverpool, Nottingham Forest against Arsenal, and also Wolves against, that is, Newcastle, and Man United against Manchester City. Let's move on and be looking at some of the most owned players in the fantasy league, because you need to know some of the players everybody is looking out for, and if you have to get them, or you need to go away and also look for some differentials to help you also improve. So some of the most owned players in the fantasy league as of now is João Pedro with 63.8% being owned. His price is very moderate for a striker. That is 7.7 million. Mohamed Salah, the most owned player in every FPL game. He comes in with 53.9% and is being sold at 14.5. As of now, he has been able to gain, that is 16 points. João Pedro with 26 points, the massive point for the week. And we'll look at the goalkeeper, who is a surprising pick for me. That is Dibratka, coming in at 33.9% with 4.0 million. He has been able to gain 10 points out of there. And we have Tijani Renders coming in at 32.6. 5.7 million. A very easy amount for a midfielder coming in with 14 points being gained so far. Mohamed Kudus, 32 managers or 32.6% of managers are owning him. He comes at a 6.6 million with 15 points being generated. Erling Haaland, who was one of the most owned players last season, coming in at a 32.2% ownership and also being sold at 14.1 million, has been able to gain 24 points there. So if you are looking at the most owned players, you have players like Marc Cucurella coming in, Van der Ven, Ekitike, and Semenyo. But the player with the most points as of now is João Pedro. And I think if you need any striker, you need to go in for João Pedro. Let's move on to the most attacking returns of the previous week. So with the most attacking returns, Jack Grealish is leading with 4 assists with 0 goals. As of now, his attacking returns is on 4, compared to Enzo Fernandez, who is also on 2 goals with 2 assists. His attacking returns as of now is also 4. We look at João Pedro of Chelsea, also on 2 goals with 2 assists, attacking returns of 4. Erling Haaland with 3 goals and 0 assists with attacking returns of 3. And we look at Timber of Arsenal with 2 goals and also 1 assist with an attacking returns of 3. Then we have Jadon Anthony, Antoine Semenyo, Hugo Ekitike, Richarlison, Ricardo Caliaflori, we have Cody Gakpo coming in. So with attacking returns, if you are looking at players to boost your attack, I think you can go in for the likes of Jack Grealish, Enzo Fernandez, João Pedro, and also Erling Haaland. Remember, this show is brought to you by MyBet.Africa, and I would always tell you one of the best betting platforms you need to sign up to is MyBet.Africa. They come with a lot of bonuses, a lot of excitement when you join their platform. So with MyBet.Africa, you have early payout options for you. Anytime you bet on MyBet.Africa, with any game, you go for early payout. When the team leads by 2 or more goals, your ticket is being cleared and you are winning at MyBet.Africa. They also have the bet builder option. With the bet builder option, with just 5 selections, you can get 50 options. So if you are going for some of the EPL games happening, with just 5, you are getting 50 options, which can boost your winning. And if you are boosting your winning, it means the ACA bonus is also available for you at 1,500%, and is one of the highest I've ever seen in the betting platform. So today, go to the description, click the link and register and join the MyBet.Africa family and be part of this winning and enjoyable betting platform. Let's move on to the defensive contribution or most defensive contribution during the first few weeks of the FPL. So with the defensive contribution, we are looking at Virgil van Dijk with 44 contributions. Senesi of Bournemouth, I've always been mentioning him. He's one of the most underrated defenders in the Premier League, and you need to watch out for him. And he's giving 43% or 43 there. We have Van der Beek giving 37. We have Lacour giving 37. We have Tarkowski, or the most defenders with the highest point and contribution. He's here with 36, and Michael Caine also giving 34. So with defensive contribution, if you are looking at defenders who has a lot of contributions to their defensive winning points for their team, these are some of the defenders you need to be looking out for, especially going into the season. Let's look at some of the amazing signings that came into the Newcastle team. And if you are looking at the Newcastle team, we have Nick Vortamada coming in, and now his price is at 7.0. Would I advise you to buy him? Yes, I would advise you to buy him. He's one player who would come into the Newcastle team and perform so well. He's one player I think would add a lot of goals, a lot of contribution to the Newcastle team. So he's one player I would advise you as an FPL manager. You can go him as a differentials, because most of the FPL managers wouldn't be picking Watamada in their team. So if you are getting him and he's giving the goals, you would have that thing and also perform so well. The next player is Yohan Wissa. And I think last season he had 19 non-penalty goals. At 7.5, he's a very good addition to add to your team. But in recent information, he wouldn't be playing for Newcastle against Wolves. And with that, you can add him to your next transfers, which will help you boost your attack. Because if you are getting an attacker coming in at 7.5 with 19 goals contribution last season, I think he'll be that player for you. Let's look at under the radar players. players you need to bring into your team. They are not big name players, but they are adding a lot to their game, making sure that they are bringing up good points for their clubs and also adding good differentials to your setup. So let's look at Sinesi. As I mentioned, his price is just 4.6 million. He's a good player you can bring to your team. Defensively, he's adding a lot, and he's adding goals to also it. We are looking at John Philip Mateta. He also comes as a 7.5, a good striker pick for you. He's on penalty duties at Crystal Palace now, and you add a lot of points. Jules Briho, the player who moved from Chelsea to Everton, is now adding goals to his team, his points, assist, and also clean sheet. He also comes at a 5 million, which I think is a very good pick to also go for. Josh King, a young 18-year boy joining Fulham. He's starting games for Fulham, and in their recent game against Chelsea, he even had a goal that was disallowed. At a 4.5, I think is a good pick for you. Gibbs White has been one of the known midfielders in the league who has been given good points, and I think he would be one pick I would also advise you to go at a 7.5 million. Let's look at one of the players like Trevor Chalobah and also the likes of Strand Larsen, Vicario for Tottenham Hotspur. These are quality and they are good differentials to pick, especially going into the week. If you have to look at their prices, the highest here is John Philip Mateta at 7.5 and also Gibbs White at 7.5. The rest are at 5, 4. So they are good differentials, bringing it into your team and help your team to also improve. Let's look at some of the new players making their debut for this season's FPL. And we are looking at Watamada for Newcastle. He's playing against Wolves, which is a good game for him. With also Juan Wissa not playing, meaning he will start and he may get 1 or 2 goals. So he's one player I'd advise you to look at, especially going out for. Diblin for Everton. We know the performance he plays up for a team like Sunderland last season. So you can also go in for Diblin coming into your team and also helping you. Alexander Isak, there is doubt that he wouldn't be able to start the game. But against Burnley, it's an easy game. He can come in and perform so well. So you can also add him to your team. He comes in as a good differentials for you and also give you maximum point. Garnacho to Chelsea. Against Brentford, a low block. Chelsea will need that skillful 1v1 midfielder or 1v1 winger that would add goals, and Garnacho is also one pick I would also advise you to also go for. So these are 4 players making their debut for some of their clubs they've moved to and you need to watch out for. Let's look at game week 4, my team pick for game week 4, and also some of the players you need to bring into your setup. The first goalkeeper I would go for is Nick Pope. I think Newcastle against Wolves is a good game for them, and Nick Pope can perform so well for Newcastle. Munoz coming in against Sunderland with a wing back, he could give a lot of crosses, also an assist on this game. Chalobah against Brentford. Brentford will surely not attack Chelsea that more, so a clean sheet will be also available for Chalobah. Henderson of Fulham is also one defender I'm also picking. Mohamed Salah against Burnley is also one player I'm looking at picking. Eze coming in Nottingham Forest. I think now Odegaard and also the left wing side of Arsenal has been a bit of a problem, so Eze can come in and perform so well. Semenyo having a good spell from the start of the season is also one player you can go in for. And the differentials I mentioned, King coming in, Fulham against Leeds, I think he'll be with his quick pace, he'll be also a good inclusion up there. Erling Haaland against Man United is my captain, and he has shown in every time he plays against Man United that he's always scoring. So captaining him is a no-brainer. You can go in for Erling Haaland. João Pedro against Brentford, and also Mateta against Sunderland. So these are my picks for the week, and also you can also add some of these players to your setup. Now let's go to the amazing thing I want to speak to you about MyBets FPL. MyBets FPL is one of the most exciting, monetary rewarding FPL I've ever seen, especially coming into this season. They are giving out 500 Ghana cedis for a monthly winner. So now, if you are part of this show, you need to join. You can go to the description, click on the link and join simple, or you can use their code. That is QBOT87. QBOT87. That is the code to join MyBet FPL. The moment you join, you see a lot of managers on there. And MyBet is telling us there are simple steps you need to also be part and qualify to win. The first thing is to follow their socials on every platform, their Facebook, their Twitter, their YouTube, everywhere, and also their Telegram to also be part. The next thing is to make sure that within the month you are making a deposit of 100 Ghana cedis to also help you qualify to be part of it. And at the end of the month, if you are the manager of the month, you are getting 500 Ghana cedis for my bet. Free bet to bet on any option you want. And I think it's one of the most amazing things you can get for my bet.africa. Tactics and Touchline are also offering you weekly rewards. And with the weekly rewards, we are giving out 100 Ghana cedis. 100 Ghana cedis every week. 100 Ghana cedis every week to also be part of Tactics and Touchline. So join the code 7KPJIA. 7KPJIA, and with this you join the weekly Tactics and Touchline FPL. With that, you are getting 100 Ghana cedis free bet if you are the manager of the week. So all that I will say is that join this fantasy leagues, be part, and don't forget my bet.africa is one of the best betting platforms. So register, go to the description, click on the link and register. Next week we'll come and announce our weekly winner for Tactics and Touchlines FPL, and we'll also give you updates on what is going on my bet.africa. Subscribe, like, and also share this video to your friends so that they can also join fantasy groups that reward